do it without that back support. I really do. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, without my agent, I wouldn't have ever auditioned for any of the shows I've been on. Without my publicist, I wouldn't be on this call with you right now. And without my manager, I probably wouldn't know where any of my money is. So, yeah, they all play a pretty big role. I respect people who think they can do it all on their own. I used to be like that, too, where I wanted to be in control of every aspect of my career. And I think the second that I kind of let go of some of that control and just sort of went with it and trusted that God or the universe or whatever you choose to believe in has a plan for you. And my life has gotten a whole lot less complicated since then. You know what I mean? I just kind of put a little faith in it and trust it's going to happen.
Nice, very nice. Now, for the people that's listening worldwide right now, that's actually new to you and even your fans, let's go on and reintroduce this to everyone as far as it goes for that hit show that you're on Saturday mornings called The Inspectors. Tell everybody about that show.
Yeah, so The Inspectors is our second season premieres October 1st. So it's coming up. It's a week from Saturday. And it's a show about a young man, Preston Wainwright, who I play. He's a college student who has recently gotten in a car accident and lost the use of his legs, and his father also passed away in the accident. So he's kind of getting readjusted to life without dad, life in a wheelchair, and then, as a college kid, and trying to kind of get acclimated to that, too, as he transitions into adulthood. So, that's the show. And then, obviously, the Inspectors portion is Preston's mom is a postal inspector, which is essentially a federal employee, like a FBI agent. They have the same type of jurisdiction. So it's pretty cool. And Preston wants to be an inspector. So, he has dreams of being in law enforcement, but he's obviously kind of being held back right now by his disability. So he's got a lot of challenges, and it's a very optimistic, family-friendly show. Good message in every episode. And we also kind of try to tell people about crimes that are currently being committed that you may not know about, right, just to sort of give people a heads up and make them aware so they don't become a victim themselves.
Nice. Now, season 2 is about to come up, correct?
Yes, October 1st.
Nice. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen worldwide, make sure you do check out season 2 of The Inspectors. This show will have you, after you watch one episode, you're going to watch more and more. So make sure, and you're not doing nothing Saturday morning, so make sure you tune in to this. This is something that will, if you're bored on Saturday mornings, CBS right here, I'm telling you, Inspectors will have you hooked. Make sure you check out season 2. Season 1, try to stream it. Try to find it. Catch up on it. This show is something you do not want to miss. Bret is doing his thing once again in this show. I'm telling you, Preston, you have to watch it. That's off top. You have to do that. Now, quick question for you, Bret, on this one. As far as it goes for The Inspectors, how close is all of the characters? I mean, in real life.
Oh, yeah. Well, we shoot, most of us live in Los Angeles, but we shoot the show in Charleston, South Carolina. So for all of us, we all are essentially uprooted to the other side of the country. And so we don't know anybody. We don't have family. We don't have friends there. And so we all kind of come together and have become a little family ourselves. So I've become very good friends with both Erica Marie Sanchez and Harrison Knight, and also Terry Serpico and Jessica Lundy have been doing it forever. So we've been learning from them, and it's so fun to watch them and figure out how they prepare and what their process is and what they can kind of teach us when it comes to the business side of acting. And so it's just been a lot of fun. We've been really enjoying ourselves.
Nice. I may have to come check you out. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm just one state away. So I may have to come up there one day, or come down there one day. Yeah, to definitely check you out. I'm going to have to do that.
I'd love to have you, man. If we get picked up for another season, I'll have you come down and visit set for a little bit.
Nice. It's not when, it's not if, it's when. And it's going to happen. Season 2 is coming.
Yep, okay.
And season 3 and season 13. Trust me, this show is not going anywhere. It definitely isn't. Now, how important do you feel that social media is as far as it goes for the television industry, for being an actor itself? How important is social media?
I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Unfortunately, it's become a little too important, I think. Yeah, I mean, it all
True.
comes down to, I mean, it doesn't all come down, but it's sad. There are times when roles do come down between two actors, and it's like, well, this guy's got more followers on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you get it. You totally understand why. You can now quantify how many fans somebody has based on the number of followers they have. So, you know, for some people, it's great. People who are really into it. You know, I enjoy social media. I think it's fun to connect with people. You know, I've received messages from people I don't know who either want to get into acting or, you know, maybe want to talk about the show or whatever. And it's kind of fun to know that you kind of have that big of a reach. You know, it's people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. That's
who,
true.
You know, may have show or, you know, caught it online or whatever. And so it's just kind of cool. It's kind of cool to be connected and then, you know, obviously every now and then you probably get some negativity too, and you just got to try to ignore that stuff and focus on the good stuff.
Right, and I mean that comes with any type of job that you have. When you become successful, that's when you start building your haters. If you're not doing nothing at all, people don't have a reason to hate because they'll feel like that you're in the same spot as they are. But when they start seeing success, that's when it happens. And like you said about social media, it's like a double-edged sword, in my opinion. It's a good thing, but when you going out for an audition and you know you're really skilled and really well for this job or this role, and then the next person come in that you, in your heart, you know that you're better than them, and they have 685,000 followers when you only have 4,000 followers, and they'll pick that person over because of ratings. They think it's going to bring in more ratings. And it seems like the days of being purely skilled is over. That's what it seems like.
You know, it definitely can be perceived that way, but I think, you know, I think if that's the way you look at it, then that's the way it's going to be. I choose to acknowledge that social media has started to play a much bigger role in this industry, but I also know that it's not the end all be all. I was actually up against a guy for my role on the Inspectors, and he had 500,000 followers, and I was nervous. I have to admit, I thought, oh man, I hope they don't make a business decision here and say we want the guy with the huge following. And lucky for me, they didn't. I think when I got cast, I probably had, I don't know, like 400 followers or something like that. You know what I mean? It just wasn't something that was important to me. And now that now that I have something that people are somewhat interested in, it is kind of fun to put yourself out there just a little bit more and engage with those people.
And I see where you're coming from on that, and that's amazing that the industry played that part. They didn't actually pick the bigger number, and I'm very amazed by that. And I'm glad too, because like I said, you deserve this role. That's something that you should have. It fits you. And I mean, when I say it fits you, you play it real well. You do. I've seen a few episodes, and I've seen what you can do. So, yes, I can't wait for season 2.
It wasn't easy playing, and it's not easy playing somebody, with a physical disability like that. Not only just being in the wheelchair and not being able to move your legs and having to kind of readjust all of your mannerisms, just the mental aspect of it, trying to imagine what it would be like to not use your legs and to have your whole world flipped upside down. I've never had something that traumatic happen to me, and so it required a lot of research, a lot of talking to people who actually have gone through stuff like that.
Right.
Man, and they talk about wanting a situation to make you a more compassionate person. I've met some people who I go home and look myself in the mirror and I think, how can I complain about anything? You know what I mean? And so it's been a fantastic experience being a part of this community.
Nice. Now, talking about social media, how can your fans and the followers that's listening today, how can they actually find you on social media?
On Instagram and Twitter, my user handle is Bret J. Green, and that's Bret with one T. And on Facebook, it is Bret J. Green 25, I think.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen that's listening worldwide.
Usually pretty active on Twitter, more so Twitter and Instagram. So If anybody did happen to hear it and wanted to reach out and ask a question or whatever, I would probably take it to one of those people.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen that's listening worldwide right now, make sure you go find Bret on Instagram. Make sure you find him on Twitter. He says he's very active on Twitter. If you have a question about Inspectors, if you have a question about any of the other shows that he's been on or about his career, I mean, ask him. He's right here. Do it. A lot of actors will act like they don't want to don't want to answer your questions, but Bret is a true all-around guy. I mean, just ask and see what he does. I believe you will get an answer. So make sure you go find him on social media. Everybody that's listening right now, make sure you do it. Now, Bret, what is your ultimate goal as an actor?
Wow. Ideally, I'd like to be in a position in 10 years or so or less, where I am still acting but also producing and directing.
Okay.
I have a lot of interest in that. But I want to take my acting to the next level first. But I would love to position myself where I can continue to provide creative input and not just be the actor who shows up and is told, do this, stand here, say this line. And most places do allow for creative input, but being a producer or a director is obviously on a whole other level. So, guys like Ben Affleck, guys like Channing Tatum, Mark Wahlberg, all those guys, they're not going to be in anything anymore if they're not producing it. And I ideally I'd like to do that one day. So, but I know we got to kind of buy my time and work my way up there. But that's probably my end goal, is to get to that level.
Okay. And I believe you can do it. There's nothing stopping you, Bret. You're already in the industry. Eyes are on you. Ears, they're listening. They're watching you, Bret. And I'm telling you, just keep making the impressions that you're doing now. And I don't see why you can't make it to the top. Just continue to do what you do. I mean, success is right there for you, Bret. There's nothing stopping you at all. Definitely nothing stopping you. And talking about success, there's another show I do want to ask you about. When you was on CW's Jane the Virgin, how was that?
Man, that was one of the coolest shows I worked on. Nothing against any of the other ones, but wow. The day I worked, Gina Rodriguez had just gotten nominated for her second Golden Globe that morning. And, of course, everybody was in a fantastic mood. And, she was too, but she was so cool and down to earth. And same thing, I was one of the only people that was there that day in terms of guest cast. So it was me and Gina, basically. And I got to kind of pick her brain and watch how she kind of operated and carried a show. And it was super inspiring and motivating and just, it was amazing. And one of my good friends actually worked on that show a couple months after me, and he went there and he also had the exact same experience. So it wasn't just because everybody was having a good day and she got nominated. They just were a fantastic cast and crew, and just
nice.
Such a great example of how it's done.
Well, CW, if you're listening to this show, I want a shot. I want to be on the show now. Bret has actually talked me into it. Let's do it. Put me on. Put Bret on. Put all of us on at the same time. And let's make magic happen. I believe it can happen. Now, Bret, I know you're a busy guy.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I know you're a busy guy. I'm not going to hold you up much longer. But what advice would you give everyone that's listening to the show right now, male or female, if they want to become an actor or actress?
The first thing is you really got to look yourself in the mirror, sit yourself down and say, why do I want to do this? If you want to do it to become rich, or if you want to do it to be famous, don't do it. Because the odds of either one of those things happening are already against you. And if you go into it with that mindset, it's not gonna happen. So, and then once you decide, nope, still want to do it, then get to LA, get to Chicago, get to New York, get to Atlanta, wherever it is that you think you need to be, and make it your life. And let your family and your friends know that I may be a little bit harder to get a hold of because I'm chasing my dream, and set goals and accomplish those goals. So it's a hard industry to get into. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but if you go into it with a mindset of, yeah, it's hard, but I'm going to be the exception, I think things will be a lot easier. So I would definitely go into it full board and don't look back and tough it out too, because it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to take a week. It's not going to take a month. It's going to be years. That's before you really kind of break in and get into it. So I have a lot of friends who are just now getting agents for the first time, or who are just doing their first film, or starting to move in the right direction. So we're all just kind of just chipping away at it. It's a lifelong journey. It's not going to happen overnight.
And I think that's what a lot of people are actually mistaken at, Bret. They think just because they say I live here and I know how to do this, they're going to have automatic success without even trying to break a sweat or work hard. And I definitely 150,000% agree with you with everything you just said, Bret. Everything. Me personally, I feel the same way you do, but you have to put your work in. If you don't put your work in, do not expect to think you're going to be handed just a major role and you haven't done anything. I'm just being real, people that's listening right now, and people on Facebook Live, YouTube, however you're watching this show, and if you're listening to the show on Blog Talk, I'm being real with you right now. Bret worked. They didn't just say he walked into the entry and said, oh, here's the lead role in the Spectres, and that's it. No, it didn't work that way. He's done different television shows. He's put his work in to get to where he's at. And I'm telling you, everyone, ladies and gentlemen that's listening right now, you can do the same thing. Just get in there, put your work in, find you a good publicist, find you a good agent. If you have to, find you a good manager and get your work in. It doesn't matter. Bret said it earlier on How to Get Away with Murder. He had a one-liner. And when he did that, he killed it, and look what else happened. Jane the Virgin, Goldbergs. He's going into season 2 of Inspectors, people. I mean, he's on fire. So, Bret, continue to do what you do. Continue to climb that ladder of success. Please do not stop for anyone, because you're doing good, you're on fire, and you're going to get to where you want to get to in this industry.
I appreciate it, man. And one little plug I like to mention is you do need to spend money. Put some money into your business, which is you. So you've got to get in class, you got to get photos, you got to do the whole thing, and it can get hard. And so my shameless plug is I do photography as well. So and I like to give actors for starting out a really good deal. And so it's minimal for headshots. But I don't want people choosing between getting photos or getting groceries. So if there is anybody out there in LA who wants cheap headshots that are good, I like to help people out. So look me up. My Facebook page is Bret Green Photography.
Go to it, guys. And people that's listening in Cali right now, and if you're just starting out, even if you're not just starting out, he said he's going to help out the people that's starting out at a minimum, but at the same time, he has skills. So even if you're listening right now, I know there's some actors that's actually been in the game for a while that's listening right now. Give Bret a shot. If you want to get a new atmosphere, a new person taking your shots, go do it. Go to his Facebook page. Send that request. Tell him you want it. And trust me, I don't think Bret is going to turn you down for a headshot. He definitely isn't. So, Bret, I want to say thank you again for everything.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thank you. I'm glad we finally were able to connect and chat. It was a lot of fun, man.
Yes, thank you. And in the future, I would love for you to come back on the show again.
I would love to as well, man. Let me know.
All right, not a problem. And ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier, but Bret Green, make sure you go find him once again on social media. Season 2, Inspectors. Check it out, guys. Find his old shows that he was on before, as far as it goes for Goldbergs, Jane the Virgin. Find them all. How to Get Away with Murder. If you want to see him as a male cheerleader, I'm sorry, Bret, but I got to go there. If you want to see him as a male cheerleader, go find the show. I'm going to have to watch it again myself. I saw the episode, but I'm about to get me another good laugh off of that too. So, Bret, thank you for this.
All right.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Bret Green. And until next time, everyone, right here on the Big Scoop with Coop.